everybody, Ray Davenport, your Director of Athletics, and today I want to take you through a comprehensive warm-up for all the pickleball players out there. The goal of this warm-up is to reduce our risk of injury and make sure that you're fully prepared for every point, every lunge, every turn, every forward and back, side bend, anything that you might encounter in that first point of your pickleball match to keep you safe and moving properly. So grab some space, we'll get right to it. Now, a big part about prepping the body for movement is soft tissue work. Done before our warm-up, we're going to get the best results. Whether that's through foam rolling, using a lacrosse ball, or using a massage gun, these are all great options to help the tissues feel their best before we take them through full range of motion and preparation for our sport. Now, a lot of these drills are going to be done either standing still or moving side to side, forward and back between the net and the baseline of your pickleball court, so you should have plenty of space. If you don't, just kind of go off to the side and we can make it work. A lot of these can be done stationary. But the first one we want to jump in with is a slow march. Now, the purpose of this is to draw the knee into the trunk and stabilize through the hip using the core and those big glute muscles. So we're going to stay stationary right here. We're going to go for about 5 to 10 per side is a good place to go. Any more than that is personal preference. This is all about prepping you for movement. So stick with your marching. The side view is here. We're lifting up. We're tall through our lower body. Our posture is good. We're not leaning back. Okay, so first things first, control the body and then go from there. The next one is a slow lateral shuffle. So if we've got the baseline of the net, just think down and back so that you can go both directions. And it looks something like this if I come over here. Getting low, getting in that athletic posture, we step and then we slide, shifting all our weight onto this leg, and then we pull the other foot together. We don't want to slide it across the floor. We want to stay low. My head's not going up and down. I'm engaging my hips, and I'm moving over, feeling a little stretch in that inside of my thigh, and then I go back. Slow shuffle, engaging all the muscles, activating the hips. Really important to be deliberate with these movements. Okay. So next up, we've got our hip openers, and again, this can be done stationary, but I like to create a little bit of movement with it. It's going to look like this. The hip is going to come up and around to the back, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, moving looks like this. If I'm going between my net and my baseline, I might give myself a little shuffle, bring that leg up and over and around, shuffle to the other side, up and over, around. From the face on, looks like this. Hip up and over. Hip up and over. You can see I'm turning a little bit to create that space. Okay, we're just looking for this up and out motion. The inverse of that is going over, right? So from the side, swinging that leg from the back over. So if you imagine a small fence or hurdle, we're going up and over that hurdle. Again, from the straight on, looks like this, repeating anywhere from 5 to 10 reps per leg, okay? Or down and back between the net and the baseline is a good measuring tool. So the next stretch up is our rotational sling stretch. This is gonna give us a nice elongating feel across one side of the body. And all we gotta do is step back with one foot, rotate to the outside of that front leg and reach overhead with that opposite arm. So you can see this entire side of my body is getting nice and long, and then we step back to the top. We alternate sides, we step back, we rotate. Notice my hips are staying nice and stable. I'm not turning my hips into it. I'm rotating my upper body against my stable base. From the side looks like this. Step back, turn against that stable base, which is the lower body, and then come back to start. Stepping back with the opposite foot, turn the shoulders, feel that nice stretch along the side. Okay, repeating 5 to 10 times. Feel free to hit pause at any point in this video. Okay, so now that we've sufficiently got the hips warmed up and gotten a little stretch into the core is a little more activated, we can go into our calf pedaling, and you can put your hands either on the fence or on the bench. You can even just do this standing if you needed to. But what I'm gonna do is come down into a high plank position. I'm just gonna pedal my calf. So one knee bends and I push through that foot that's down, keeping the other toes on the floor, just nice and soft, dropping that heel to the ground, straightening that leg out, holding for maybe a half second, and then just working side to side here, okay? Now to get my Achilles, I'm gonna come on up, and it's gonna be real subtle, but all we're gonna do on that back leg is drop that knee down, so you can see straight leg back here. Let me show you on this side. Straight leg back here, and then we drop the knee, and you can see I kind of sink into that, and then we sink into it. Might be tough to see with the black pants, but the angle is increasing at my knee, and we're just gonna drop into that Achilles stretch, gently working in and out of it. If you wanted to, if it feels good and you want to hold for 20 to 30 seconds, feel free, but we just want to kind of work in and out of that full range to get it ready for what we're about to put it through. Okay. So now that we've activated and mobilized the hips and the lower leg, we're going to go into some very basic shoulder circles, starting small. 5 is plenty at each level, then we'll go medium, so a little bit bigger, and then we'll go as big as we can. Okay? Important to get those shoulders warmed up, doesn't take a ton. So just spend a little bit of time, then we reverse it, big circles. Medium circles. And finishing off with small circles. Again, doesn't take a lot, but will be helpful. Now that we're through all of that slower stuff, we can go into our more dynamic section of the warm-up. So find that space, net, baseline, get ready to move. So for this dynamic piece, we've got 3 movements. It's all to get the hips ready for what we're gonna need on the court. The first one is the lateral shuffle. So if we come over to one end, let's say I've got my baseline or net, I'm gonna stay low and I don't wanna click my heels, I just wanna shuffle, okay? Staying down there, back and forth. 2 times down and back just to get the hips fully warmed up is gonna be perfect. Might take you a little bit longer when you're out on the court, but that will get those lateral movers ready to go. The other one is a forward and backward shuttle. So starting, going forward as fast as we can, getting low to slow down, back pedaling back, planting, pushing off, going forward, back pedaling back. We want to do that at least twice, going at a speed that is easing up into your full speed. Okay, a couple times down and back should be perfect. The last one I want to look at is Carioca, and that is a little bit of a hip pivot. Shoulders are going to stay level, right? And we're just moving those hips in that rotary fashion. You can put on some good music and get your salsa moves warmed up, but that is going to get you ready to go. Okay, so that is after we've done all those other things to ease into those slightly more dynamic movements. But you can tell breathing a little heavy, that means my heart rate's up, my body's warm, I'm ready to go. I've reduced that risk of injury and my opponents are in trouble. So I know it's really easy to jump from the car to the court, but I promise if you stick with this pickleball warm-up, you're going to drastically reduce your risk of injury and you're going to play better right out of the gate. If you have any questions about any of the moves in this video, please reach out to me directly. I'd be happy to help you however I can.